Wakanda Forever, everybody! King Gabe! And no, I'm not the king of Wakanda. No, they didn't quite do that there. Nah. But I am the king of Miracle Comics now. So, what's up, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here. Just got back from seeing Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And of course, it's what I saw at the movies, because this was the first viewing, and so I gotta tell you everything, tell you what I remember from it, from seeing it with no notes at all. So, well, let's get right into it there. So of course, yeah, the movie started off. We walked. Matter of fact, the time we got there, we got past all the trailers and stuff, because you know they do trailers before every movie. But we was right at when the funeral was going on, right at the start of it. So you know they did their tribute to T'Challa and everything. I know a lot of them was really torn up about it, especially the sister and the mother, Shuri and Ramona. And of course, they had a very interesting. Oh, and yes, spoilers, by the way. You should probably know that by now. Whenever I do this, it's gonna be spoilers, just like our regular movie reviews. So, yeah, if you hadn't seen it, yeah, don't go see it first, then watch this. Okay, I'll wait till you get back. Okay. Anyway, so guess you probably say, you know, he ain't gonna wait. So anywho, so after the funeral, of course, the grieving, the sorrow, well, at least in the intro anyway, you get the Marvel, Cinematic Universe opening. However, as a homage to Chadwick Boseman, they do pretty much all the memories of him, which is a pretty nice little thing there. Matter of fact, even at the end, credits even has, dedicated to Chadwick Boseman. So, they definitely got homage to him, both in the movie and even for the character T'Challa. They even mentioned that T'Challa, the cause of his death, it was a lot of. I was thinking, like a lot of people, that maybe there was some big battle that happened that he perished in off screen, like some battle they may have had. One thing I was kind of thinking that maybe, like, since they were dealing with Namor and his army, that maybe they had come to Wakanda and was the reason why he was dead. Maybe they had killed T'Challa or something. And so first thing I was thinking, maybe like after the funeral, they was gonna go against them to avenge T'Challa. But that wasn't the case. No, T'Challa actually passed because of a disease that he became ill, which, yeah, they pretty much reference what happened to Chadwick Boseman. They didn't say what the illness was, but yeah, it's pretty. You could probably either guess that maybe they might have been thinking of some other illness, or it could have been the same thing that happened to Chadwick, And that's one thing about those type of ailments there. All the more reason, yeah, take care of yourselves, everybody. Yeah. Anywho, so with what happens after that, a year apparently passes. They mention about apparently the UN has a little meeting and everything, and yeah, not really on good terms with the Wakandans there, because there's some attacks that's going on. Apparently they're kind of upset with the Queen, with Queen Ramonda. She's not too happy with them. So yeah, we got a little tiff going on. Then of course you get the Atlanteans introduction, as they pretty much attack one of the. I suppose there's some people that's looking for traces of vibranium, which we find out later that apparently vibranium is not just in Wakanda. Now, you're probably thinking, like, well, wait, it wasn't it established that vibranium had been being sent all over the world, because of Killmonger's dad, Uncle James. Well, apparently that wasn't the only case. And we also know that T'Challa said they were going to open their resources to the world when he took over as king at the end of the first Black Panther movie. But apparently that's not the only way that people have been getting vibranium, apparently. Apparently they've been finding some in other areas that's actually been discovered that it's also in Atlantis. And that's why Atlantis is rising up, coming up against the surface world because of that. So, yeah, so we got that going, and apparently, let's see what happened. Oh, yeah. So we get Shuri, she's working on some new things. Got AI system back home. Ramonda tries to help her cope with T'Challa's death and everything. But of course, it gets cut short when Namor shows up, and yeah. Namor actually, from the very beginning, tries to form an alliance with Wakanda in the hopes that they'll help him and his army team up against the surface world there. But yeah, they're not exactly having that. But with the information that he tells Ramona, and then goes back to Atlantis, turns out they're after a scientist that was responsible for the people that were trying to find vibranium near his home. So Shuri, her and the general, the general of the Doji, they go to the scientist, which turns out to be, of course, Riri, the one that's going to become Ironheart. And with that, so they find her, of course, and they end up finding out how she made what she made. Turns out Riri actually does not know that that's what her stuff was being used for. It's sort of like Iron Man scenario, which is ironic because that's kind of who she's taking after. But yeah, much like how Tony didn't know when Obadiah was slipping weapon sales under his nose, pretty much behind his back. Yeah, this is what's going on with Riri, and she's kind of in the dark about this. And then, of course, we kind of more people get involved. More people get involved with what's going on, and there's a bit of a chase of the law coming after Shuri and the general, along with Riri included in this. We get to see Riri in her Iron Heart suit. They're the first one, almost like Tony coming out of the cave there. The guy even like, it's Iron Man! So they escape and apparently get caught by Namor's Atlantean. Well, actually the Atlanteans again. And it's a pretty brutal battle between them and everything. Yeah, So eventually Shuri ends up telling, well, look, let me see Namor and y'all cease the attack. They take her to Namor, along with Riri, of course. The general comes back, not knowing where Shuri has been taken. And Ramona is really ticked off with this. And she's like, look, I done lost my husband, my son, and now you have lost my daughter, the only thing that's left to me. And you ask for another chance. Not to mention your treacherous husband. They caused the division in Wakanda years ago. Referring to the first movie when, as we mentioned in the Black Panther review, when they sort of pulled the Lion King 2 and was kind of going up against each other. Yeah, my love. Yeah, things don't quite go so well in that conversation, and the general ends up getting relieved of her duties, which is, as you probably can guess, pretty darn emotional. And with both of the characters there, then of course they're gonna go find Shuri. Shuri actually gets to have a talk with Namor, kind of suspecting that there might become a thing with Shuri and Namor. But you know, he shares about his backstory, how him and the other Atlanteans came to be. Turns out they existed years ago, so he's been alive for a long time. You go back to the year, I think like 1577. Wow. May have been a different year, but I know it was before the 1900s though. So him and his people, they were regular people on Earth, on the surface, and there was some diseases going on, and they found a way to cure themselves with, of course, the source of what Wakanda found to create the vibranium and then the Black Panther and all that. So in their case, they used it as a means to cure themselves of the disease. Namor's mother took this while she was pregnant with Namor, and this caused all of them to where they all had to breathe water and had to quickly go in the water, and they turned blue like Avatar. So as they were down there, Namor was born, but unlike the others that were down there with him, he was able to go both water and land, especially with the little wings on his feet. And he even says, "I am a mutant." Clear as a bell, he says, "I'm a mutant" there. So yeah, the X-Men are seeping into this MCU universe. Their version of the X-Men, it's coming. So yeah, that's so yeah, he tells all about that. Meanwhile, Ramona's trying to find Shuri, and one of the ways she does is she calls up Nakia, who, because Nakia was able to really like hack and get into stuff in the first movie to really help them out, pretty much a spy. So she gets help from Nakia to help locate Shuri, and they do. They locate her. Nakia actually even comes down there and gets her out of there. And in the process of it, she ends up attacking one of the innocent Atlanteans. Once they get Shuri, and also Riri is down there with them. So yeah, she gets both Shuri and Riri out of there. And back to Wakanda. And Namor is ticked now. He's like, "Oh, killed one of us. It's time to fight Wakanda." So they go. So of course, you probably can guess what's going to happen next. They come back to Wakanda. There's a big fight between Wakanda and Atlantis in the land of Wakanda, because it's established that they've been able to get past Wakanda's barrier. Oh boy! And in the process of this battle, Queen Ramona dies. Namor declares that you guys have one more chance to join up with us against the surface, and you got 1 week. If you say nay, we will kill you all. So mourn your loss. And they fly away. Queen Ramona, of course, is passed. It sort of makes me think of when Thor's mother died in Thor: The Dark World. So they, of course, bury her. Shuri is really torn up about this, of course, even more so than it was with her brother. She's written, and it's even caused her to be really angry. So they come up with this idea of a sympathetic version of the heart-shaped herb. Remember, Killmonger burnt all that stuff in the first movie, and the only one that was left was the one they gave to T'Challa to bring him back, to revive him as well as restore his powers. So they make a synthetic version of it, mixed with T'Challa's DNA, and also this bracelet that Namor put around Shuri's arm when they were talking before she left, since it has vibranium in it, and Atlantis got vibranium as well. Once they recreate it and give it to her, she's, of course, goes to the astral plane, and the first thing I was thinking that she was going to see her mother, that does not happen yet. She ends up seeing Killmonger of all people, which I was like, what the? Killmonger gives her a little speech there, pretty much telling her to take vengeance. Like, so what you gonna do? You gotta take care of business. Cause look, you lost your dad. Your daddy was a hypocrite. Your brother was too loyal, and then you lost your mama. Girl, I think it's time you take care of business. Say, oh boy. So next thing, so she wakes up, of course, and she's on the vengeance path. There, she of course gets that new Black Panther suit that we saw at the end of that trailer. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And of course, Riri gets her Ironheart suit. They recruit the Wakandans to fight with them. The general gets reinstated as general again, along with the Doji army, and they even have these new suits for the general. The general's not too wild about it, but okay, I'll take one. And there's even an interesting conversation between her and Baka, the man-ape, where, yeah, he really would want to do, like, what she wants to do, take vengeance and take some heads and stuff, but he's sort of hesitant with it because he's like, look, Shuri, that's not what your mother would want it. And I promised your mother before she passed that I would advise you the way that she would. But Shuri like, look, brother, my mother dead. My brother's dead. And my papa. So I'm the only one left. They done taken casualties in their last attack. Look, we gotta take some back in order to protect ourselves. So you gonna fight with me? We gonna do this. Like, okay. So there's a big battle, big second battle between the Atlanteans and the Wakandans. They get Namor, the leader, in a weak spot by dehydrating him. And it's a one-on-one fight between him and Shuri, while, of course, Riri and the other Wakandans are taking on the Atlanteans, which is pretty brutal on the water. And it's a brutal fight with Shuri and Namor, of course. They really go at each other. I'm like, wow. And then, of course, there's a scene that kind of makes me think of Spider-Man and Green Goblin from No Way Home, where Shuri actually is in a position where she could easily kill Namor. And there was also a scene where she got stabbed. I don't know how exactly she completely recovered from that. I guess the same way that they were able to, when Everett Ross took that bullet, her honey beads or something like that. So she must have got it built into the suit. So, but yeah, that thing was stabbed right through here. And she broke it, then, oh, I was like, golly. That almost made me think of Son of Batman when Damian had two swords, one in each of his hands or arms, and like, ouch. Oh boy. So yeah, she has Namor where she could easily kill him. But then, instead of seeing Killmonger again, she actually sees her mother from the astral plane, which stops her from killing Namor and actually reasoning with him, telling him that, look, yield and submit to us, and we can protect you guys should the surface world attack. If they attack you, we can protect you, and if they attack us, you can protect us. We can help we can protect each other, not kill, just protect. That Namor, of course, yields, and now him and Shuri, pretty much on the same side. Now they get their armies to stand down, and this is actually not a bad ending. It's actually a really good ending. It sort of takes a page from the whole vengeance thing that's gone on way back in Civil War, when T'Challa wanted to kill Zemo for, what happened to his father. Well, first he wanted to kill Bucky, remember, that bomb, even though Bucky was under mind control, It's like, Bucky was like, I didn't kill your father. Then why did you run? So then he was going after Zemo because he was the one that was controlling Bucky. But then, realizing that Zemo was only pitting the Avengers against one another because his home was destroyed, he's like, look, Zemo, I was going to come here to kill you, man, but, let's squash all this because, this whole vengeance thing, it's just going to eat us up, man. Come on. We got to stop. Just stop. So it takes a page from way back with that. And, of course, T'Challa applied that when he spared Baka. That's why Baka the Man-Ape was on their side and everything, because he spared his life in the ritual combat. And he tried to spare Killmonger and, try to reason with him. Like, hey, come on, Killmonger, we ain't got... Look, I feel where you're coming from, Killmonger, brother, but we try to go at war with them for going at war with us. We just going to keep going back and forth and back and forth. Next thing you know, we just going to be killing each other nonstop. So we got to stop it. Something. Come on, man. But Killmonger was like, look, man, I ain't going to go with it. And just killed himself. So in this case, at least we actually got to see Namor stay alive, not kill himself, and actually submit it, much like Baka did. Thus creating the chance that there could be a Namor-Shuri relation. It's a possibility. Then again, there was one that Namor was calling My Love. I think he is kind of married to someone. I'm not completely sure. But who knows? You never know, man. You never know what Marvel might have on their mind with that. But they all at peace now. Also, they do a little something at the end of the movie for one that they brought back from the first Black Panther movie, Everett Ross. Apparently, he was trying to sort of help out with them. But of course, the feds and the CIA weren't really making it that easy for him. And there was this one lady who was his boss. She popped up in his house in one scene and was like, I know you've been in contact with the Wakandans. I've been hearing them little beads of yours talking about that's your ringtone and talking to your wife. Now you talking to the Wakandas, and so you under arrest, Ross. Ross like, wait a minute, whoa. But of course, once everything's over, with the battle of Atlantis and Wakanda, they get Ross out of his arrest. The general even having a funny line where she's like, "The colonists in chains. I have seen it all now." Definitely, I'm glad they got Ross out of there. I was kind of worried there because because he really was trying. He really was trying to protect, keep people from going at the Wakandans there. He really was trying to be on their side there, sort of like, like we mentioned how, back in the days of segregation, how there were some white people that actually was on our side against the other whites who were the racists there. But you had some cool ones that were like, hey, why we we can all get along, white, black, say we ain't gotta be fighting each other. So it's kind of how Ross was pretty much like that group there, kind of. So so we have that towards the end, and then we even get a little montage of T'Challa when Shuri's just kind of reminiscing about his fire, and she burns this quilt that her mother was telling her to burn at the beginning of the movie. And then and I did say there was spoilers, so here it comes. At the only post-credit scene that they have, there ain't no hint to the next Avengers movie or the Ant-Man or anything like that. It's just a nice little scene of Nakia coming out and introducing Shuri to the son that her and T'Challa had before T'Challa passed. So, and the name of the son is T'Challa. So, T'Challa Jr. probably. which that does. I have a speculation about that post-credit scene. There's talk about the X-Men coming into the MCU, so I'm thinking that mutants like Storm and Cyclops and them, and Jean Grey and all that, they are probably gonna come. It's still gonna be, it might still be a while depending on what the MCU has in plan, but I feel like that it's a possibility that X-Men like Storm and Cyclops could probably be kids right now, like Chala Jr. And the reason I suspect that, now it may not be, but the reason I think that could happen, because of the comics where Chala and Storm are a couple. So chances are they might actually do that, and that would probably mean that we might get another Black Panther, which would make two Black Panthers, because we got Shuri now in the land of the living. So this means that the son growing up, probably when he get to be a teenager or a young adult, becoming the next Black Panther, he might be, Storm might be growing up with him. They may possibly be like a year or two older than him, but yeah, it's a possibility. Storm X Chala Jr. in the future. So, yep, that's what I kind of theorize might happen there, as far as with bringing in the mutants. So, yeah, they might be kids now at this point, like Chala Jr. Yep. So, I think that's pretty much it there, as far as what I briefly remember about the movie and everything. There is a chance that we might have a Royal Talk to have more details on it from both, me and Christina as usual. For the Royal Talk review with the notes and everything when it comes on DVD and Blu-ray. Also, hopefully by that point I also have a Shuri figure, because I would definitely like to add that to the top shelf where I have my Chala Black Panther figure, Turbo Man, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So yeah, that'd be kind of like a little DC Marvel Avenger Justice League kind of thing there. So yeah, hopefully I get a Shuri figure in her Black Panther suit. Yeah, and you like what you heard in this review, definitely share it with your friends. Like, subscribe, and get some of our available comic books, and support us on Patreon. Definitely do that, even if it's $1 a month. So support what we do, as well as also get access to Patreon only videos, and also support what we plan to do in the future. Things that we got planned for the future, both with the channel and outside of the channel. And until then, we will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.